everybody. Bill Granger along with your host Trevor Pryor and Jeff Brandel. You're looking at a copy of the Storm Reporter. That's a new publication available to Guelph Storm fans as they come to the rink each and every Friday night. And with me is Rich Davidson. You're a freelance sports writer and a big part of this publication. Tell us about your hockey interest and your hockey background first, Rich.
Yeah, that's right. Well, grew up, loved the game. You know, it's a big part of my life growing up. I never got too far playing it. Wasn't too good. Wasn't too fast on my feet. But I love the game. I love watching the game, and I can think back to watching hockey and the Legends of Hockey series with my grandfather, and I could sit there for hours watching those old classic players play and tell their stories, and I loved it. So
how did this publication come about?
So I got in touch with the Guelph media people in the summer, and we were in talks to do it, and then the Guelph Mercury was nice enough to step up and get involved and sponsor the publication. So it just kind of took off from there, and here we are.
Your part in this is each and every week you profile a different player. This week it's Hunter Garland, and right. You've done the new captain, Matt Finn.
That's right.
And so there's lots of information perhaps that the fans don't realize about these players. What are you discovering from a writer's point of view about these players as individuals and people?
Well, I think you see right away how dedicated their families are. And you see how hard the players work in the off season, and a lot of these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, but they speak like they're 30, like they're very mature young adults. You could tell they've worked very hard to get where they are, and they're very serious guys. So
you mentioned the off season that each and every player seems to dedicate himself to the conditioning and those elements to take him to the next level.
Yeah.
How committed are these guys to this?
Well, some of these guys, like you mentioned Hunter Garland, he had told me that he was at home in Thorold, Ontario, and he worked out with a couple of prospects. I think one was with the Detroit Red Wings, one was a professional lacrosse player, and they'd work out 5 days a week doing weightlifting and sprints and everything they can. I'm not sure the players did that 20, 30 years ago, so you really see how it's evolved.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned family, certainly a big part of every child's life and so on,
yep.
But particularly for hockey players and sports players coming up, that they need the support in many ways from families. But I remember the article about Patrick Watling and his mother. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was interesting interviewing her, and you could see how hard she's worked to support her son's hockey career, and she told stories about shoveling snow, minus 40, and just talking to her and seeing the amount of time and money they put into their, into her son's career. So it's great seeing. Obviously, these kids can't do it by themselves, and you see that the parents play a big role in that.
Yeah, she's made every hockey game up to last week, both at home here in Guelph and on the road.
That's
so
right.
She's certainly committed. And fans can go to your website, and how do they do that?
Yeah, that's right. More? They can go to rdsportswriter.com, and there's links on there to all my past articles, and it's updated weekly. So all my new stuff will be up there, and I encourage them to visit.
Well, that's great, and thanks for joining us, Rich, and much success with this. Certainly an informative piece of writing for all Guelph Storm fans, so we welcome that, and thank you for your contributions. So we'll be back with the scoring summary with Jeff Brandel right after this. You're watching